my city, my city, my city. My city, my city, my city.
Hi everyone, and karibuni sana to another installment of Take 5. We take 5 minutes to address a Christian question or a Christian concern. And I'm here with Pastor Richard Bundi, and myself, Pascal, ready to take 5.
Yeah.
But before that, how are you doing?
I'm doing well.
Uh-huh.
I'm doing well. Can't complain. Can't complain. Just hungry.
You're hungry.
Yes. No, I'm hungry.
Oh, you're hungry.
Yeah, hungry for
Alright.
knowledge, and I hunger and thirst for the Lord.
For the Lord.
You?
Like the deer who pants for the water
Yeah,
brooks.
like my deer. Okay.
Alright,
Like
where
a
is
deer.
this
Like,
going?
no, like a deer.
All right.
Yes,
I'm good
yes.
myself. I can't thank the Lord more. This is
Back to your background.
yes. Back to my background with
Yes,
the jacket.
yeah, background and baggage.
Yes. All right.
Yes.
So we want to take 5. We started a series of questions 2 weeks ago, just looking at the worthiness of God to be the object of our worship. We asked, what is worship, and is God worthy of our worship? Last week we looked at the problem of disease. God who allows disease, how can he be worthy of worship? Today we want to look at another one, and that is death. We know someone who used to live and is not around today. It's a bit of a bitter experience. It's a bit of a delicate thing to handle because we know some of us might have lost loved ones to death. Some of us might know people who have lost loved ones, and they know how devastating this is. And in a sense, when we read the scriptures, it seems to be the ultimate height of what sin seeks to achieve. In every form it takes, in every activity it seeks to do, it's to reach that end, death. And sadly, it achieves it 100%, at least as we know it, right? So today we want to ask, how does a God, how is it that a God who lets sin ravage our world to the point of death, to this extent, how is that God worthy of our worship?
Thank you so much for that question. Because in light of the question we had answered way back about seeing our loved ones in heaven, whether or not we will see them, this one is not even the satisfaction that you will see them again. It's I'm hearing the question behind that, it's too soon. You took them away too soon. Yes, I know they were unwell. Yes, I know they were going through this thing, and they were going to die either way or something of the sort. But too soon, a car crash, a disease, and stuff like that. And you're like, hey, if given a few more years, this guy would have achieved so much. Wish you had prepared me better, Lord, for the time that you're going to take away my loved one. And so people ask, okay, yeah, I get we're going to see them again, but why? A few things. I am reminded really well today that death is not the end. Death is just but a transition. That's no comfort to hear, but death is a transition that gets us to God. Without death, we almost can't be with Him. It's what takes away this sin-infested body that I have and life that I have, and brings me to Him afresh, anew, glorified, transformed to the image of His Son, Jesus Christ, which will be the only state that everyone will be in when we've been conformed to the image of His Son in heaven. And so death is not the end, but a necessary transition that people will painfully go through. And we'll always have that feeling of, I wish I could be with them a bit more. But then again, I'm reminded of the other side of things, that if you were to ask the dead, just being careful with words, your dead relative, one who's transcended from this life to the next, if you were to ask them to come back and have time with you again, if they are with God, I don't think that will be a bargain they will be willing to make. Actually, they are wishing that you will come to where they are. Because where they are, there is peace, it's pleasures evermore, it's fullness of joy in His presence. death is not the end. It is a necessary transition, though painful. We can't see it now because exposed to this world, it seems like this is all there is to life. And so we shall get into a higher plane where there are greater things than length, width, and height, and time, and dimensions, and move into an infinite presence of God, and you will realize death was only but a necessary transition. It will be almost like a moment, like you never left. I was waiting for you. That would be what your relative probably will say, and that's what I think about death.
It's interesting that you mentioned that, and I think when you look at death itself and God, how He relates to the death of our loved ones, I don't think He's a God who is, you know, just allowing death to happen, emotionless, up in the sky, just letting things happen and not feeling anything about it. If Jesus was to go by as to a representation of who God is and how God views everything, then it paints a clear picture that God is truly concerned and affected by death that we experience. He himself, in his earthly life, wept for the death of his own, you know, dear friend, Lazarus. Even when he knew what was going to happen, that he was just about to raise him from the dead, he still felt the sting of death, still felt the effects of death, that, you know, my friend has been consumed by the ultimate, you know, enemy, death, brought about by sin. So I think even as we glory in these truths, that, you know, death will be swallowed up in victory, and that we will live forevermore, and death will not have a hold of us. There is no longer sting. We should not feel that God is away when those times come, even if there is that glorious truth. At that moment when we are mourning the death of our loved ones, even with this hope, He too is feeling, you know, the pain that we are feeling, shares in all that, and He's also longing for that future, just like we are. And I think a God who comes alongside us and moves with us to that is a God worthy of worship.
Indeed, he is. A comforting verse I've always found in Acts, where it's said that David, after he had served his purpose, rested. I don't think there is a purposeless life. I think every life will achieve its purpose before they go. So find comfort in a God who is timely, and all this is working out for His glory and for your good. Never think that someone left too soon. It might look like that at the time, but if you could see God's mind, He achieved so much through the life of that person who was taken away. And as you mentioned as well, death will be the last enemy that will be swallowed up in victory. And that's why God is worth your worship. He has dealt with the enemy. Yes.
All right. So thank you so much, guys, for sticking around. We know it was a bit of a sensitive topic, but worthy to talk about. And I hope those insights and thoughts will help you just, you know, figure out that space. And even as you continue thinking through this. Well, it was myself, Pascal,
Bundi,
come to the end of Take 5. Thank you so much for joining us. Till next time, see you guys.
See you guys.
All right.
My city, my city, my city. My city, my city.